Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we will be learning how to install Windows Server 2022 into a VirtualBox. So I am currently on this link here. I'm going to paste this link in the description box. So once you are on this link, you can click on this option here which says English for the language, ISO, that's what we want. So once you click on download, once you click on this, it's going to download the ISO file. I have already downloaded it and saved it, so I'm just going to fast forward a bit. So once that is done, we are going to go into our VirtualBox. So once we're into the VirtualBox, we will click on at the top machine. So we will click on machine at the top, we'll click on new, then we will write something as Windows or maybe Win S22. Then we can just select the ISO, which is going to be right here, and we are going to select skip unattended installation because we want to configure something. And under here, under the hardware, we will make sure this RAM is 4 gigabytes and processor, let's do 4 processors, and hard disk, it's currently set to 50 GB. I'm going to set it as 100 gigabytes and finish. So that error occurred because I already had a name of the folder with the same name, so I'll just change it to Win22, and it's currently powered off. So I'm just going to click on settings, then going to click on network, then change the adapter from NAT to internal network because we want this virtual machine to be connected to the OPN sense that we created in the previous videos. So I'm just going to change the internal network to test LAN that we created and hit OK. And then I'm just going to start the virtual machine, and let me just zoom in. And let me make this a bit bigger. So time and format, you can change it if you want to. So I'm just going to fast forward it a bit. So here we have 4 options. We have Windows Server 2022, standard evaluation, we have Server 2022, desktop experience. So that's what we want. So desktop experience will come with the graphical user interface. That's what we want for this lab. However, in the prod environment, in the production environment, usually the organizations will go with non-GUI version. The reason for that is because the graphical user interface consumes a lot of resources while running, while the standard evaluation is a command line interface which does not require too many resources. Even if the servers have a lot of RAM and a lot of processors, we want all of that RAM and the processors and everything else to go towards the managing of the work and not towards the graphical user interface. So for this lab, I'm going to select the standard evaluation, but however, in the production environment, it's usually command line based. At the same time, as you might see here, that we have a lot of different options. We have data center, and data center desktop experience. So the difference between data center and the standard evaluation, in a nutshell, in just one line, is that if you use a lot of virtualization technologies, like for example, if you use a lot of Hyper-V's virtual machine, then you probably need data center evaluation. But for our lab, standard evaluation will just do fine. So you can just probably search online what these two does, but that's just a basic rundown of what it does. So we will select the standard evaluation desktop experience, and then we will select next, accept, and we will hit on custom install Microsoft Server operating system. Then we will click on new, apply. So all of that was unlocated space, and now we have created a partition. We only need one partition, but in the production environment there might be multiple. At the same time, you might see that it has automatically created one more partition, which is system reserved, which is really small when compared to the other partition, and you might see that it's already full by 15 megabytes. So these are some file that Windows require to work properly. So we're just going to install it in the partition that we created, and then next, and it's just going to go through all of these stuff. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to resume when that is completed. Okay, so after that was completed, the Windows was restarted, and now we are on this page where it's asking me to create a password. So I'm just going to create a password. Also, at the same time, I disconnected the Windows from the internet. The reason for that is because if it is connected to the internet, it will just ask me to connect my Windows Server machine via the email address and all that stuff. So I just switch off the OPN sense router. If you want, you can just disconnect the setting. So let me just show you what I did. So I turn off the OPN sense router, but if it is asking you to do all that stuff, you can just go into the virtual machine, go into the setting, then go into the network, and you can tick this off, which is enable network adapter. You can just untick it. That will just disable all the adapters. So that way the Windows won't ask you to create or enter your email address and all that stuff. So now that is completed, I'm just going to log in. So as you can see here, it's asking me to enter Control Alt Delete to unlock. This is usually the case with the Windows servers. So since if I do press Control Alt Delete on my computer, since this is a VirtualBox, this is going to enable, or this is going to take effect on my computer instead. So instead, how we do that, we go into, at the top here, we go into input, or maybe just let me zoom into the video. So I will go into input here at the top, So input at the top, select the keyboard, and we will select insert Control Alt Delete. So once I do that, it's going to give me the password. I'm just going to enter the password that I created just now, and it's just going to log into the machine. So while this is going on, I'm just going to turn on the OPN Sense router. So the OPN Sense machine is now starting in the background. So now it's turned on. So it is telling me that there is no internet. And we will try to browse the 192.168.1.1, which is going to be the login page for OPN Sense. Now you can see that it's not working. So yeah, this means good news. So I'll just select yes. Now I think it's probably turning on. So if I just refresh the page, it should give me this, and OPN Sense is now connected. Yes, we are logged into OPN Sense page, so that's great. At the same time, let's just try to browse the internet and see if it is working. Yeah, this seems like the internet is working as well, and we have got connection. So since we have selected DHCP for OPN Sense, this virtual machine automatically got an internet, but we will be changing these settings because we will be using this Windows server as a domain controller, and it's really important that domain controller have static IP address. So I'm not going to do that in this video. We will probably do that in the next video. However, in this video we are going to check some things. So Google DNS is able to ping, that's great. I'm just going to run the traceroute command to the Google DNS to see So the first hops was at the OPN sensor, then it's already connected. So yeah, everything seems good now. So this is going to be it for the installation video. In the next video, we will configure the domain controller. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.